Hi guys, in this video we'll go through active scan rules in ZAP. In passive scanning, ZAP is just looking at requests and responses and finding out any vulnerabilities, whereas in active scanning, ZAP is actually attacking the application under test. Active scanning attempts to find potential vulnerabilities by using known attacks against the selected targets. It should be noted that active scanning can only find certain types of vulnerabilities. Logical vulnerabilities like broken access control will not be found by any active or automated vulnerability scanning. Manual penetration testing should always be performed in addition to active scanning to find all types of vulnerabilities. Again, I should stress that you should have permission to test any application you are running active scanning on with ZAP or any other security testing tool. So, what are active scanning rules? Active scanning rules define what kind of vulnerabilities to check for when attacking a web application. Some examples of active scan rules are .ht access information leak, which checks for web accessible .ht access files which may leak sensitive information such as usernames or directory listings. Code injection. This rule submits attack strings as values for URL parameters in a request and examines the responses to see if those values have been evaluated by the server. Command injection. This rule submits OS commands as URL parameters to determine whether or not the web application is passing unchecked user input directly to the underlying operating system. And then we have cross-site scripting, in which scripts are injected into the website and then checked for vulnerabilities. Then we have got this directory browsing. This rule checks to see if a request will provide access to a directory listing by examining the response body. SQL injection. This scanner scans for SQL injection vulnerabilities in databases. Let us quickly launch ZAP and see where we can configure these. ZAP is up and running. Let's first of all check where these rules are configured. If you click on the Scan Policy Manager symbol on the toolbar, you will see a default policy in this list. You can click on Modify to view the details of the policy. So here you can see the scan policy, client, browser, and all the details in there. We did talk about some of these just earlier. We will discuss the scan policy in detail in the next video, but in this video I just wanted to show you where you can see those active scanning rules. There are certain configurations you can do on active scanning by going to Tools, Options, and the first option is Active Scan. Here you can do a lot of configuration. What happens in terms of active scanning? The first option is the number of hosts scanned concurrently, the maximum number of hosts that will be scanned at the same time. Increasing this value may put extra strain on your computer. And then we have got concurrent scanning threads per host. So you can set any value, but obviously if you increase the number of threads, it will speed up the scan, but it will put extra strain on your computer. Max results to list is the number of results that will be shown in the active scan tab. Then we have got this maximum rule duration. This option allows you to set maximum time any individual rule can run for in minutes. 0 means no limit. Similarly, we have got maximum scan duration. It sets the maximum time that the whole scan can run for in minutes. Again, 0 means no limit. Then we have got this option, delay when scanning in milliseconds. This is the delay in milliseconds between each request which are sent to the application server. Setting this to a non-zero value will increase the time an active scan takes, but will put less strain on the host. Then there are other options like injecting plugin IDs in the header message so that you know where the message is coming from, handle anti-CSRF tokens, and then there are options like in attack mode prompt to rescan nodes. We'll go through the attack mode in a separate video. Also, you can specify default active scan policy or default attack mode scan policy, and there are some options for the charting purpose which we'll see soon. These were some items you can configure for active scan. But how does ZAP know what to attack? For that, you will see another item in the options, which is active scan input vectors, which determine how ZAP would know what to attack. So here you can set what are the targets for attacking, like post data is one of them. So whenever you post some data, ZAP will try to attack key value pairs in the post request. You can also set if ZAP should attack cookie data or not, or HTTP headers. Then there are some built-in input vector handlers, the data formats that active scanner will target. So by default they are all selected, like it will attack multi-part form data, XML, tags, JSON messages, and all those sort of things. If you have got any external scripts, they can be enabled via this option. Also, you can configure what parameters should be ignored by the active scanner. For example, here you are ignoring any of the session IDs or PHP session IDs or view states. So you can, as usual, add, modify, or remove items from this list as per your need. There is a flame icon symbol which denotes an active scan. Once the active scan starts, you will see the number going up, and then finally once the active scan is complete, this will reduce to 0 again. Let us quickly fire up our test website and see how it works. The background process has picked up the passive scanning, and go to the login page. So if we now pick up the login page and run an active scan, it automatically picks up the default policy. If you have defined any other policy, you can select it here. In the next video, we'll discuss that. So if I just do a start scan, the scanning tab appears, and you can see the active scans here. This shows one active scan going. So the flame icon shows number of active scans, and here is the charting if you want to see how the progress is going on. So it has already done all these scans, so it is just going on the host side scripting. So this is what active scanning is and what options are available to perform active scans in ZAP. In the next video, we will go through ZAP Scan Policy Manager. If you haven't done already, please do subscribe, share, and like the video, because that really encourages me to create more. Thanks.